Due to the predicted growth of freight transport in the coming years, carbon emissions in the Dutch-German border region will increase significantly. Emissions of particulate matter, sulfur and nitrogen dioxide will rise as well. These are damaging to the air, ground and water and lead to health problems, especially in densely populated areas. Liquefied natural gas, or LNG, is a cleaner fuel than diesel or fuel oil and offers an alternative for heavy freight transport along roads and inland waterways. LNG is gas that is cooled to -162 degrees Celsius until it becomes a liquid. The volume shrinks by a factor of 600. The use of LNG as fuel reduces particulates and emissions significantly. Carbon emissions go down by 20% as well. However, implementing LNG as an alternative fuel will require new infrastructure, with LNG fuel stations needed in ports, along motorways and on industrial estates. To accelerate the introduction of cleaner LNG as an alternative fuel for cross-border freight transport, the LNG Pilots project was launched, a German-Dutch Interreg A project involving more than 40 partners from both countries. The project began with an LNG infrastructure concept, identifying potential sites for LNG fuel stations and terminals. Additionally, a digital marketplace was set up in order to chart the supply and demand and design a transparent market. The first trucks are already driving on LNG, and more LNG fuel stations are already in operation. If we want LNG to expand, then fuel stations need to be more user-friendly. So one sub-project focuses on developing a robotic filling system, especially for LNG trucks. This is fully automated, so drivers needn't leave their vehicle to fill the fuel tank. This increases the ease of use and safety for the drivers. This development should help accelerate the introduction of LNG trucks. Compared to diesel, a higher volume of LNG is required to travel the same distance. The tanks must have a larger capacity and also be stronger. This is needed since the working pressure is higher than the atmospheric pressure. This sub-project focuses on developing an LNG tank with more effective volume to lower operational costs. To facilitate the switch to LNG, existing diesel engines can be converted to a dual fuel setup. These engines run primarily on LNG, but can also run on diesel, which is currently more widely available. With this conversion, older trucks can also make use of LNG. This sub-project focuses on the development and testing of a dual-fuel engine, both in a test setup and in practice. LNG could be a great step forwards environmentally for the shipping industry. This sub-project focuses on the use of LNG to generate mobile shore power for inland shipping. The current onboard power source is often a diesel generator, running when the ship is docked. The use of mobile shore power can help reduce emissions and greatly improve the air quality in and around the port. The use of BioLNG can reduce carbon emissions even further. So far, this has been a costly process, only viable on a large scale. LNG Pilots is working on various innovations to enable fermenters to produce BioLNG profitably on their own premises. These include optimization of the liquefiers and a higher quality gas. Thanks to an enrichment procedure developed as part of this sub-project, the calorific value of the biogas can be increased, making the conversion of natural gas to BioLNG more feasible. LNG Pilots is working to achieve harmonization of legislation in Germany and the Netherlands to facilitate the introduction of LNG. These new developments also result in a demand for training and the transfer of knowledge on working safely with LNG. Therefore, this project includes the development of a range of training concepts, including driver training for LNG truck drivers. Through this project, LNG Pilots aims to promote a greener border region transport sector. We identify opportunities and concentrate on innovation. We now have a clear picture of what is needed to accelerate the introduction of LNG as an alternative fuel. Our next step is implementation. After all, LNG is an important and effective step in our journey towards a climate-neutral 2050.